Can everyone hear me? Yeah, my name is Barry Gates. I'm the Vice Chair of the Ecoforestry Institute Society, so I have a chance to respond somewhat to what Fred was saying there. The Ecoforestry Institute Society, which goes back to 1992, is the premier ecoforestry institute in Canada, if not North America. It has a very skilled and educated team of forest professionals that do work there. But more to the point, the Ecoforestry Institute membership and board have all been involved with wildwood for a very long period of time. Most of us have mentored there, most of us started our careers going and trekking up to wildwood, talking to Merv, having Merv show us around his forest and tell us a little something about ecoforestry. And we've taken that information from wildwood and we've gone out to the forests that we manage or practice on, and we've actually instituted the sort of model that Merv was using in our own forest practice and in our own work abroad. The Ecoforestry Institute was chosen by Merv to actually manage wildwood when he transferred it to TLC. Basically what Merv said was that he was a bit concerned about TLC and wanted some guarantee that the work that he had started would continue. So we identified the Ecoforestry Institute as the people that had worked with him on the land as the organization that would carry his vision forward. Now, Merv, you must understand, was a lifelong learner. He learned from his forest. He had a good relationship with his forest. And he did learn to communicate, as Fred said, with his forest. And what that meant was that he was never complacent. He had two principles. He had one principle, which was work with nature. He had another principle that said, use the precautionary principle. If you're not sure, don't proceed with anything until you are sure. And his practice over time changed. You can see that in the cutting patterns. If you take the time to go up to wildwood, you'll see that as Merv learned, and as time went on and he began to learn a bit about wildwood, that the way he harvested wood up there actually changed over time. The other thing you know about Merv is that he loved to teach, and he loved the fact that wildwood was a teaching forest, that it was a forest that people could come up to and actually learn from. And the Ecoforestry Institute took that very seriously in taking over wildwood. The one thing they did do was to have a very careful look at what Merv had done and to try and add a little bit of order to what they saw Merv doing. Merv was perhaps one of the greatest intuitive foresters in Canada, if not on the continent. He knew how to sort of communicate with the forest, and he knew how to communicate with people. But his main goal was that that communication would continue over time. The Ecoforestry Institute has been instrumental in carrying forward educational programs. We've had thousands of students and professionals actually come through wildwood. Most recently, we had a group of foresters from Hubei province in China come through, have a look at what we're doing. And they came because this was the only ecoforestry operation that they could find on the coast of North America that would actually be able to provide them a working example of what they needed to see happen. That's ecoforestry. We have worked very cooperatively with TLC in the past. When we first came to be stewards at Wildwood, we had a management team that consisted of TLC members and members of the Ecoforestry Institute. Together they jointly managed Wildwood very successfully for a long period of time. TLC also defended us against insinuations that we were not harvesting and not taking enough off wildwood. When we explained what our rationale for that was, they actually backed that particular rationale. We submitted a management plan which Fred commented on. We got no comments back from Fred on that, I might add, and we were in no way under the impression that TLC was not happy with that. The only time we have come into conflict with TLC was around the issue of how wildwood should be protected. The goal of the Ecoforestry Institute is to put wildwood in a non-beneficial trust arrangement so that no matter who the owner of wildwood is, the trust arrangement is the one that actually dominates and dictates So what happens at Wildwood? This is very different than the covenant system. This is actually putting 3 padlocks on Wildwood, the first being a trust arrangement, the second being a covenant, and the third being the organization that actually carries out the work at Wildwood. We feel that Wildwood needs to remain in the public sector, be managed by the Ecoforestry Institute because of its history with Wildwood and because of its association with MERV. We feel best suited to carry forward that particular mandate. We don't think that privatizing Wildwood, as is the goal of TLC, is the way to go with that. And we do have people here that have actually spent a lot of time with MERV. I would invite them to come up and comment on what they feel MERV's legacy was. Thank you.